Well, the rollout of coronavirus vaccines across Europe a year ago was seen as a landmark moment, offering some of the first significant protections against the deadly virus. But hopes of vaccines ushering in a swift end to the pandemic have proved elusive. Cyril Vanier reports on the progress made so far and the challenges that still lie ahead.
1 year ago, Europe started vaccinating en masse. The world marveled at the UK's impressive early rollout, worried about super freezers keeping vaccines cold enough, and hoped this was the beginning of the end of the pandemic. 1 year on, Europe is in the grip of a new wave of COVID-19. From curfews to lockdowns to working from home, restrictions are back in multiple countries. So, have vaccines really kept their promise? When it comes to saving lives, that's a resounding yes.
They exceeded all of our expectations in terms of their efficacy, in particular their ability to prevent severe disease and death.
As for preventing infections,
it seems to be less good at stopping people actually acquiring the virus.
Still, countries that have been slow to vaccinate have paid the price in human lives. Take Bulgaria, the European Union's least vaccinated country, only 26% uptake, has the world's highest mortality rate. That reality has prompted once reluctant Austria to mandate vaccinations from February, with Germany poised to follow suit. How long does immunity last? That, perhaps, the biggest disappointment.
Immunity wanes. It's a bit like slowly going down a hill. It's not a steep drop off. So if you've been vaccinated 4 months ago, you are slightly less protected than if you were vaccinated 2 or 3 months ago.
Forcing Europe to bet on boosters. In France, all adults will lose access to restaurants, bars, train stations, and more if they fail to get their booster by mid-January. The head of the French Scientific Council already talking about a 4th dose. Is the holy grail of herd immunity still achievable? The short answer, no.
I don't think it is achievable anymore. You'd probably need to have well over 95% of the population with some immunity. It's going to be difficult to achieve that in practice.
As Europe prepares for its second COVID Christmas, questions abound about the Omicron variant, its transmissibility, its severity. Vaccines by no means a silver bullet, but still by far the best protection available. Cyril Vanier, CNN, Paris.
And joining us from Oxford, England, is Dr. Sian Griffiths. She is an emeritus professor at the Chinese University of Hong Kong and led Hong Kong's investigation into the 2003 SARS epidemic. Thank you, Doctor, for all that you do.
Good morning, Rosemary. Nice to be with you.
So Pfizer now says its third COVID booster shot offers protection against the new Omicron variant, but 2 doses may not be enough to do that. And we've learned that 2 new studies from Israel have found the Pfizer booster shot reduces infections and deaths by 90% or more. We should know more by Friday, but how encouraged are you by this news?
These are encouraging results because what they show is that the vaccine boosters will protect to some extent against Omicron, because the big question when Omicron came on the scene was, will vaccines work? How transmissible is it? How severe is the disease going to be? And what's the real nature of this virus? Scientists around the world are working in different ways on different studies on those questions, and we keep getting small hints of what the jigsaw will look like eventually. So it is encouraging, but it doesn't mean that we can just sit back and say, let Omicron rip. I don't think that is the case at all.
And of course, here in the United States, the CDC says only about 25% of vaccinated adults have actually received that third booster shot. So given what we've just learned about the extra protection offered by the booster shot, is it time to redefine what fully vaccinated means and make it a 3 shots instead of 2-shot regimen?
Well, that's obviously something that needs to be discussed by the various committees, such as in the UK, the Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation. We've already had the recommendation in the UK of having boosters, all adults to have a 3rd shot, and Pfizer and Moderna are the two vaccines being used. And I think, as you said earlier, in France, the vaccine pass will rely on people, particularly older people, having had 3 shots. So we're definitely not into this is going away territory. We're into actually to control the virus. We need to stay on top of the variants. We need to see developments in vaccines that are appropriate for the variants that emerge, and I think we may well see ourselves in a situation like we are with flu, where we continue to be vaccinated against strains of virus that are prevalent at that particular point of time, and that's just a sort of precautionary public health approach.
And UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is imposing tougher COVID restrictions across England in an effort to contain the Omicron variant. And of course, in the wake of a government scandal, Brits will need to wear face masks in most public places, work from home where possible, and show COVID passes to get into nightclubs and other crowded events. Will these measures be sufficient, do you think, to contain the threat?
Well, that's really difficult. These measures are coming on top of other measures. They're coming at a time of year when we already have a lot of viruses, not just COVID, circulating in our population. We have pressures on the healthcare system from other things than COVID. And I think that our chief scientific advisor yesterday was pointing out that the key thing we need to do is to slow the spread of Omicron, get a better understanding of it. And hopefully these measures will contribute towards it. But it's a combination of things. It's getting vaccinated, getting those shots is the most important thing. And the booster program has been ramped up. Our general practitioners are allowed to defer other work, other routine work, to prioritise booster jabs. So booster jabs are really the key. These other measures are part of the whole picture, and hopefully taken together they will control the spread of Omicron, because we're all getting towards Christmas, and I think people are very keen that we don't cancel Christmas again this year.
Yeah, it appears we're all having to learn to live with COVID. It's not going anywhere anytime soon, right?
Absolutely.
Dr. Sian Griffiths, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.